Hello and welcome to Games from Folktales, a podcast that mixes historical research and tabletop role-playing settings. I'm your host, Timothy Ferguson. This week, another one of our short episodes, mixing the history of philosophy with the mythic European setting. Wittgenstein's lion as a model for the blatant gift. Wittgenstein is one of my favourite philosophers, regardless of what his philosophy actually was. At one point, he thought the primary task of philosophers was to stand in the corner of other people's lectures and yell semantics at them whenever they suggested metaphysics was worth considering. Maybe you need to be me to think that's really terribly funny. In Philosophical Investigations, he writes, "If a lion could talk, we could not understand him. It's given as an axiom or aphorism, no attempt at argumentation is made. Many commenters suggest what he means is that the lion does not share the culture which enshrouds the language with sufficient context to give it meaning, or alternatively, that the lion's sensations are so different from ours that we, lacking a frame of reference, could not understand what the lion perceives, regardless of how clearly he enunciates his interpretation of the environment." In mythic Europe, this is simply untrue. Everything is alive in a spiritual sense and can communicate clearly, if idiosyncratically, using the right spells. In House Bjorna, there are magi who are essentially lions, but who can take human shape and converse. Given that he's simply wrong in mythic Europe, can the aphorism about the lion provide us with value in another area where communication fails? Magi code switch, a technical term used for children raised in multiple social environments. They change the way they talk, move, and even think when they move from one communicative community to another. When a magus is commanding the anima of a rock to talk, the magus is doing something fundamentally different to talking to a merchant about the price of a bag of flour. As the magus becomes more closely tied to the mystical, the capacity to code switch breaks down a little. Many people who live for a time in two countries talk about the need to shift gears when moving between them, about the culture shock of transition. The magus begins to experience this. They interact with mortals so rarely that each of these conversations suffers due to a lack of a common cultural framework. The magus is Wittgenstein's lion. It can talk, but not be understood.